Welcome to Lowmez Fab. All right, guys, Happy New Year, 2026, another year. Welcome to Lowmez. I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour. We made some changes and renovations, and there was construction, and we had to move a bunch of shit. It's not fun moving machine shop stuff. Takes forever. It's heavy, major inconvenience, but we got it done. So we moved a lift. We built some storage. We used pallet racks, built almost like a second floor mezzanine, and our new fabrication area is now underneath it. Boom. So this is it. This is Fab Lab version 2. We got our computer and my desk back there, our welding section far in the back with the table, our English wheel, a nice workbench right here, our CNC plasma table, a bunch of little presses and stuff. We got some more equipment shoved back here in the corner that we haven't even set up. Another big hydraulic press, a drill press, a belt sander. But yeah, this is it. This is where I make the magic. And it is right next to walking distance from the big bay where all the cars are. So before, the old fabrication area was kind of in a standalone unit next door, but it had a pass through. So now everything being under one roof is definitely more convenient, making it more efficient. So yeah, 2026, let's go. I figured this video, to get back into it, would kind of be a run through of what all we've done to this K5 Blazer since we've received it almost a year ago. So we will start off, I'll insert a couple photos into this video of how we received it, so you guys have a reference to what I'm talking about. But we will start with wiring. We've got a Holley EFI sniper setup that we've changed all the routing, plumbed it, trying to tuck as much of the harness and the ECU boxes as possible for a nice clean setup. The original intended locations actually would not have worked with the harness length and location of things. We had to relocate things into the correct locations to where the harnesses don't need to be modified, as Holley recommends do not modify our harnesses. It had about from here back transmission drive shaft tunnel put in for clearance, and when you looked at it, it was cocked, so I couldn't let that ride. So we did a transmission tunnel, drive shaft tunnel there. Actually need to do another little clearance under the seat structure that is a pop-up access, so we're gonna have storage underneath that rear seat. Incorporated some side paneling with 6x9 speakers, as this truck did not come with an audio system, so we figured that would be a nice touch. The tubs that were included were beautiful. I believe they were made by Heartfab. Unfortunately, the dimensions of the tubs were a bit small. So they just were not going to work with this wheel size setup and the way that everything was together. Unfortunately, they looked beautiful, but I couldn't use them. So we went with a traditional big old round tub with plenty of clearance. We actually had to do some pockets on the inside of the body panels. Because of the width of the rear end, the width of the wheels, really this rear end should have been shortened, but it's already been built, powder coated, yada yada yada, so we did what we have to do to make it work properly. See, we pushed our seat forward slightly for a nice big pivoting access hatch here. Running the AccuAir E-Level kit with some Viair 485 compressors. So we're working on the sheet metal stuff back here. Lots of paneling, lots of little details. These dress-up panels that I have incorporated off the underside sheet metaling actually kind of tie in the gaps, but they give us enough clearance to be able to remove this hardtop, which was pretty important. So it'd be cool to be cruising this thing without the top. Have a raised floor, obviously, for the big notch, Porterbuilt notch in the back. We've got a Heartfab unit back here with an air chuck, some battery terminals, and a breaker. I did a nice bead rolled panel back here for the raised floor. We did do a behind the taillight fuel fill. The fuel cell that was included was set up for the factory fill location, so it had a pop-up fill neck. I'll insert some photos and videos of that. So we did modify that. We dropped the fill neck down and we hard piped the fill to the behind taillight filler. Which is why we got this nice curved step down rear floor panel, and because of that oddball shape I cloned it and we put one on this side. So I'm all about symmetry. To me it makes it look right. So the Vintage Air or Restomod Air, whatever it was, that whole unit under the glove box was actually mounted totally crooked, so couldn't let that ride. We pulled it all out, we redid the mounts, we straightened it out, we got that all situated, so that's ready to be plumbed and wired. Yeah, we've done a lot of work on this thing. As soon as I get the hood off, I will show you guys what I've been doing there. Right here for now. Oh. We could squeeze one through there up front too.
Yeah.
If we need it.
I'm gonna mess here for a little while. See if I can finish the front end.
All right. So, this is where dreams come true. We think. We hope. It's got an LS, painted orange. It's gonna look like an old school small block. It's got the Holley Terminator X system with like the vintage style air cleaner. So, you know, when you pop the hood, it's gonna look OG. So that's the plan at least. We got our cooling system in recently. That took a lot of fit up work. Unfortunately, these quote unquote bolt-on parts never fit. So I've made some changes to the core support, new mounts, new isolators, nice bead rolled top panel that's got the isolators underneath it. I am going to hardline the cooling system next. I just got the steering all figured out. That's a little bit tricky, but I will pan the camera over to that. So yeah, the steering was a little bit tricky. A handful of knuckles, some D shafts, and some creativity and thinking. So it's got a Heim joint that bolts on the back side of the control arm bracket here. So if you ever got to, you know, alignment adjust, yada, 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 it doesn't affect, you know, that Heim support back there. So that's what we came up with. Seems to work pretty good. So clears the header, clears everything, clears the chassis. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. Got some Heart Fab tubs and some nice intro 22-inch wheels. We modified the Porterbuilt shock mounts to actually bring the shock height down 3 inches so we can run a 2.5-inch exhaust all the way to the rear exit of the vehicle. Pull it down. So this rear seat actually pivots up and we've built like a storage area underneath here. It's got a push button release. So that's on hinges with like a gas shock, so that'll tilt up and you can access whatever storage or maybe a stereo subwoofer down here. So that's something different. Got a little bit of rust repair to knock out on it, but besides that, it's a pretty rust-free truck. This is probably one of my favorite builds that we've had in here so far. Right above you, we've got a Cat Eye Chevy. We're doing air ride and a bunch of other stuff that you guys will see later on down the road. I don't want to spoil all the fun stuff. We got a really cool Mini Cooper in here, right-hand drive with a ZX14 motorcycle power plant. So really cool. If you guys know me and my history, this is kind of me with the Scorpions and stuff, motorcycle powered vehicles. So actually we just sank in these headlights. We made some nice little buckets that recess the headlights in. We got a little bit more fab work, and then we have a bunch of little things, finishing up brake master, some wiring, some stereo stuff, some fabrication of a custom airbox. So you guys will see more of this down the road too. But yeah, we just finished these headlight buckets. You guys will see some footage of that. Chris's old school S10, body dropped and bagged. We got to fix the air ride controller. I think the air ride controller failed. And then his rear end needs some love, so we're gonna yank that rear end out, rebuild it, bearings, seals, pinion, yada, yada, yada. And right above that is Jared's never-ending build. I call this the JDM street truck build. It is a Nissan hardbody with an S2000 power plant. Jared brought this in right when I opened up, so it was kind of like a cool thing. It's evolved a lot over the last 2 years. Originally brought it in for a 4-link in the rear, so we did a 4-link and some custom cross members along the way, custom anti-roll bar, a Watts link, a bunch of fun stuff. We boxed in the chassis with some access panels for when we do the final build, like routing, brake line routing, wiring routing. A lot of that stuff gets hidden behind the frame rail plating. But we do have access panels to fish that stuff, so I try to think ahead on this stuff. Rear-mounted fuel cell, rear-mounted battery, some fully adjustable Viking coilovers, a crazy Watts link that we ended up redesigning the linkage on it to make it a little bit more low profile for this little truck. We are currently working on the front, trying to button up the control arms. This was a torsion bar truck, so we eliminated the torsion bars. He was originally using a 2-inch wheel spacer, I believe. So since we were redesigning and fabricating the front, we are gonna eliminate the use of a wheel spacer. So we've redesigned the front suspension to be plus 2 inches, so we can now not use a wheel spacer. The bottom arm is actually an original arm from the torsion bar setup that we kind of beefed up, triangulated. I believe that was a kit from Roadfab, so shout out Roadfab. And the top arm was completely redesigned by me. We did raised tabs and a box style arm. It took about 3 revisions, but I'm finally happy with them, so we're gonna get those things welded out. So yeah, we're on the tail end of finishing up the control arm stuff. We're gonna get the coilovers in place and got to make some nice mounts for those, and then we got to attack the steering. But we're making progress, good progress, and I'm hoping to see this thing as a powder-coated rolling chassis sooner rather than later. I think that's it. All right, what's up, guys? Gonna do some TIG welding on the back of this Blazer. We have so much welding to do, but I gotta start somewhere. I'm gonna get the pocket back here, that hard fab pocket, welded in. I got it clecoed in place. The cutout. Originally I had that thing slipped in through the front, but then we would have a flange on the outside, and I didn't want to have that welded flange visible, so I put it on the back side. It's clecoed in place. I'm gonna fully TIG weld that seam, blend it out, so that'll all look pretty seamless and smooth. So I'm gonna get a couple tacks on it while it's clecoed up in here. Then I'm probably gonna pull it off, stick it down on my welding bench and weld that out, and then we'll dress it, get it back on. So progress. Let's rock and roll. Appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe. We got plenty more videos coming your way, a lot more in-depth on each build. Have a good one. See y'all next time. Oh, and this is our SEMA build 2045.